All right, Billy, we've got Couch Coach on the line with us. There's been a lot going on with Couch Coach's Georgia Bulldogs lately in the trash talking season with Dan Mullen and Kirby Smart. First off, how you doing, Couch Coach?
Doing excellent. How you guys doing?
Doing real good.
Doing good.
Talk to us. Tell me about this Dan Mullen thing. What is your perspective of as a Georgia fan with all his talking? He's like he's pulling a Steve Spurrier, but he hadn't won anything to talk like Steve Spurrier. What do you think?
Well, empty cans make the loudest noises. So Kirby's not saying anything about Florida. He doesn't have to. I mean, he's 2-0 against Dan Mullen. And he's he's won 2 out of the last 3 against Florida. So, Florida, regardless of what they want to do, I mean, they have to prove they can beat Georgia this year. And, Kirby's kind of like, hey, we'll do our talking on the field kind of deal. I mean, he kind of has a Nick Saban mentality about it. Now he might get a little fired up behind the scenes with the guys, but he's just not going to get into that kind of banter like how Spurrier used to get under people's skin and how a Dabo would fire back or a Ray Goff would fire back. The best way to handle those kind of guys is to do what Philip Fulmer did back in the day or do what Bobby Bowden did back in the day and just be like, yeah, okay, whatever, we'll see you on the field, and that is what it is. And quite honestly, I think they need to worry about keeping their players together more than they need to worry about the Georgia Bulldogs at the moment.
I agree with you. Billy, what was it like back in the day? Because you were playing for the Vols during Steve Spurrier's time when he used to bust us up with you can't spell citrus without UT. What's your perspective of this Dan Mullen situation, and what was it like in the locker room when that was going on back in the 90s?
Well, it was always that competition when it came to Coach Spurrier. He was one of those coaches that you had to respect the guy when he said he was going to kick your butt or whatever. He always did what he said he was going to do. But it was more bulletin board material for us. When a coach telling you that you can only go play in the Citrus Bowl, that's how you spell UT. You can't, whatever he said. It used to get on our nerves, and we always had the Gators circled when we played them. In the locker room, where it was in the weight room. It was more. It fueled the fire. It made us want to play it every day, so it was a very competitive thing for us. It helped us out.
Well, as a fan, I never liked it, and I think that's why Steve Spurrier isn't that well liked in East Tennessee or in the whole state of Tennessee, even though he's from there. But the trash talking, everybody's going to do that. I don't really have a problem with it. But what else is going on with you, Couch Coach? You got anything you want to bring to the table?
Well, just kind of going back to, I think the biggest thing that's going to affect college football this year and moving forward is the transfer portal. I mean, that's there's all these guys just moving in and out of that thing, and I just wanted to get y'all's feedback on what you thought about the transfer portal and if it's good or bad for college football.
Well, Billy, I'll let you go first on that one.
I mean, personally, I think it's good. It's just part of the game. It's the motivational part of it. Is when the coaches are speaking up and saying what they got to say to basically motivate the kids, and I think that's what he's been doing this whole time. So I think it's good for college.
I really don't know that much about it, Couch Coach. I just know that it's basically putting your name in a hat and making it eligible for other teams to contact you. I guess I think it's good if Tennessee can benefit from it and get a player, and then I'll think it's bad if somebody uses it against us, one of our players. That's probably where I'm at. I don't know about the whole game. I would probably lean towards I don't like it. I think if you make a commitment, you should be there. But then again, you've got the saying, well, the coaches aren't committed either. As soon as somebody else comes calling that's a better school, they're gone.
That's true.
So what do you think about it, Couch Coach?
Well, I mean, here's my deal on it. And at what point does commitment matter? Like I think if you're in the recruiting process and you're going to all these schools and you can't foresee yourself being at a school for at least 2 years, then why are you even talking to the coach, right? If you got all these kids that are leaving after 1 year, at some point you got to step back as a player and be like, well, I'm not assessing the recruiting process right. And I just think that in any kind of endeavor that you do, you have to have commitment on some level. And if you just have a bunch of guys sticking their feet out there and, looking over their shoulder every single time something gets hard, you're not going to achieve anything great. I mean, let me ask you this, Billy. You played in Coach Chavis's defensive scheme for 4 years, right?
Yes.
And did you have a better understanding of that scheme in year 2 or year 1?
Year 2. Most definitely year 2.
Of course, right? So, by year 3 or year 4, it's like not only the scheme, what you're supposed to do, but you have the entire philosophy of what your coach wants. And then it's just a matter of you guys kind of speaking with each other and executing. And I think that's the piece that's really going to take a hit with a lot of these guys going back and forth. I have no doubt that colleges will adjust and coaches will adjust. But as a player, if you're analyzing a situation coming out of high school, I just think you can't let the coach's jive talk get to you, man. Like, you have to go to a place and be like, this is where I'm going to get my best opportunity. This is where I'm going to shine, and this is where I see myself in 2 years. Now, after 2 years, if something isn't going right, then of course transfer. But if you're leaving after 1 year, the first year, freshman year of any school, you're going to have transition. You're going to have problems. I just don't think you're giving yourself enough time in any situation to accurately analyze after 1 year. 2 years, you know where you stand. So that's just where I think on it.
Well, I most definitely can relate to what you're saying. It's just sometimes, you get a kid that fall behind, and I've seen a lot of guys in that situation where they could have transferred and went to somewhere else and been a contributor or a starter to another team, and and showcased themselves a lot better. Today, the way they're doing it is a little bit different. Some of these guys, when they get beat out, out of their positions and stuff, or whether the coach leave or whatever, there's so many different situations that comes to my mind. But the one situation that I don't like about the transfer portal is when you get beat out of your position. The way I've always been taught was, of course, I'm the same way. When I took someone's position, or if they took my position, I'm going to fight for that position back in practice. It all starts in practice.
Yeah.
If these kids are not, motivated enough to go out and practice and earn that position, to earn that playing time, I don't think they're going to do it any better than any other school. It's going to be the exact same results. What are you going to do this time when this guy beat you? Are you going to transfer again? No, you can't continue to transfer. You can't transfer all the time. It's just certain situations that works better for the transfer portal. For instance, the kid that just left Alabama to go to Oklahoma, that's a great situation for him. He's not going to ever play again since Tua got the position. He graduated and he got the transfer. Now that's totally different. It's got some of these kids that are just
I agree.
Just transferring because they lost their position. This kid could have transferred should have been able to transfer if he wanted to, but he went and worked his tail off, and he still didn't get the position back. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think Alabama would win some of those games they won.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I just think that at the end of the day, football, and this is where it needs to come back into the equation of, football is not a life career for anybody. No one's going to play football for 60 years, right? No one's going to play football for 40 years, even if you're the best of the best at what you do, like a Peyton Manning or whatever. So at some point, we have to get back into the equation of football is a piece of your life, and then the other 30 years of your life is your life work. So what is that to you? Are you going to be a coach? Are you going to go into business? Are you going to, be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever? But I think that the whole point of football is to teach you life lessons of resiliency and fighting for things and being committed to a team and having each other's back. And I think those are the lessons that are being lost in the grander scheme of things with this portal. And again, the game adjusts as it adjusts, but I think that's where I'm concerned, just watching it from the outside.
I can't disagree with you on that. I really can't. I know Billy's been around athletics a lot more than we have, but these kids, they have a dream of an NFL, and I think you should dream big. And I like it when I see a kid have a dream to go to the NFL and he works his tail off and he makes it. But I can show you 1,000 more that have that same dream that don't make it. They might be 2 inches too short, or 10 pounds too light, or a half a step too slow. I mean, that's the margins you're talking about in the NFL. What do you think about that, Billy? Do you think that these kids aren't being prepared for the very real possibility that they're not going to make it to the NFL?
Well, it's most definitely they're not. Every kid, their dream is to play in the NFL, whether they're good or whether they're bad. That's the first thing that they think about, especially when they come to college ranks and they're playing with these elite guys and great teams, and they're winning these national championships. And they got these guys in their ears that are telling them that they're a first day player, they're first round, second round, and then in reality they're basically just another number. There's so many kids out there that are training just like they are to make it to the NFL, and that's why NFL is one of the only sports that is very small percentage of kids that get to go play in the NFL. There's so many guys in this world that wants to do it. There's guys from China now that's trying to play in the NFL these days, and it's rare that you see one of those guys play, but it's tough. And I wish there was a system where, yes, prepare the kids, let them know that there's a chance that you're not going to go to make it in the NFL. Let's start working on things or jobs after, let's create your resume. Let's do something. Let's introduce you to these business people that we know that may be able to give you a job when you finish. Just thinking about that. Like with my son, the first thing that he said once he finished school, everything, even though he's going through the draft process, he kept on calling and he kept saying, "Hey, I need to find a job." I'm like, "Buddy, you got time. You got time to find a job." It's stuff that I've already told him. You may not make it. I've seen grown men cry in this draft because someone told them that they're a first round draft pick and made them leave early as a junior and stuff, and they didn't get drafted. And that's something that I put in his head and let him know, hey, you got to think about your career for yourself first before you think about that stuff, because there's a chance it's not going to happen. And he was prepared. He's still prepared. He's hoping that he get a call. He's hoping that he get a shot to go to CF. Just so many opportunities. But the job part was first is with him. And I love that about him, that he thought about that first, because so many kids don't have that reality of not making it pro because they think that they are the best out there until they really get reality check and say, man, I didn't get my name called, and then they give up. But it's too late then. So, yes, someone needs to teach that course.
Well, I've seen your son. He's definitely a chip off the old block. Is he faster than you, Billy, when you was playing?
No. Not at all. Not at all. He's fast, but he still don't have that first step yet, Catfish. I told him, you got to learn that first step. You get that first step, everything else will speak for itself. The 40-yard dash.
What position does he play?
He plays outside linebacker and inside linebacker. He's pretty much a linebacker. I think they'll probably end up moving him to like strong safety or something like that and become a rover or something. He's one of those tweener type guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of those tweeners. But this was fun. I'm glad we could get Couch Coach on here and talk a little bit of football. We're getting geared up for football, guys. It'll be here before you know it. We've got some interviews with some former Tennessee players, and I'm looking forward to really pumping out some videos here with Billy and Couch Coach and other contributors. But anyway, guys, if you're new to Facebook, check us out over on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, check us out on Facebook. We're under Volunteer Roadshow. And don't forget to like and follow us over there. We're going to be doing some gift certificate giveaways. But it's been fun. But those that's been watching me for a while, y'all know what's coming next. Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. Listen to this, Couch Coach. We're coming for you this year. We're going to give you a run for the SEC East. I promise you that.
Yes, sir.